Hello there, sports fans. It's your old pal Handsome back again. I noticed ever since I've started calling myself Handsome, my views have gone way down. So maybe I should say that hello there, sports fans. It's your old pal Ugly back once again. Maybe you had a sort of Quasimodo level sympathy for me instead of Clark Gable delusionality. Clark Gable? What century am I in? Yeah, that's kind of my point of today's vlog. I I I feel like I'm living out a lifetime that was happened in the 1920s and 30s and 40s. Potentially, I think I know who I was, and in my previous incarnation, I unfortunately committed suicide. So part of my life in the 2020s, not fully, I'm not saying I'm 100% certain about this, but I'm about 60%. I know some people don't believe in souls, or if they do, we only get one life and no reincarnation. But I do. That's how it is for me. And I think with such a tremendous pull towards suicide, starting at age 14, 13, really, 13 and a half, and continuing all the way, although it improved much better, continuing all the way into 2020, um, given various times, I think our souls have a great pull to do the things that we've done in the past, and part of the reason we are here is to, overcome these patterns and to have good times, and maybe some things that we've got right, to repeat those, and you know. So anyway, here it is, and well, I have a very antique kind of sensibility, I guess. You can see the glider chair hanging in the background there. That's one of my terrible mistakes that I've made that I'm not able to get rid of, and unfortunately, it's the most comfortable chair Sam has to sit in that's not mine, and we can both sort of fit in my chair, but sometimes, she wants her own space kind of close by, and that's the nicest, and guests appreciate that chair, but I think it's an awful goddamn eyesore and one of my horrible mistake purchases. So in 2014, I had just finished my second stint with Reachability. I had won their Imagination Award, and I had been um, making minimum wage at that time for 6 months, and was still able to receive some assistance during that time. So I was making like 1,400 a month. So I was saving and saving, and I was like, man, I really want to spruce up my living space. And I've been very, very lucky to always had a nice apartment. It's starting to get, just with age, a little wear and tear inside here. I probably could use some repairs and stuff. But one of the things that really always bothered me is like, geez, I'm ashamed to have people. This shit just looks so bad. And it's not even so much that. It's not that I want, nice stuff to show it off. I certainly want to create an inviting atmosphere for the three people I allowed to cross through my threshold. Now it's more than that. I'm lucky, but and I'm private, so not everybody comes by, which is a good thing. I get super stressed out, never get anything done. Boy, I'm all over the place, aren't I? So I had started with this extra money in 2014 to just wow, man, I want to just change everything around, make everything so nice. And it's taken me 8 years, and I've gotten so close. The desk that I'm tapping now was about to go. I was supposed to get a new, beautiful dark green one that would go with my uh, dark brown woods and add a little color and flavor into here. The desk that I have is terrible. I mean, I know in a lot of respects this sounds like first world problems, but um, with a twist, right? With two twists, really, with a poverty twist, because these things are coming from Kijiji and Marketplace. These are not brand. When I say new, it's new to me. I have received a few very generous donations that fit my lazy boy from sexy, and I should say his dad, old Johnny, was very nice, and a nice record shelf from Eric actually really helped to add to the vibe, so that I wasn't putting my records in green bins and crates and shit. It's much nicer with an actual properly designed record shelf. So, um, having started this process in 2014, I, I just wanted to revamp just everything. There's a couple. I think I've kept my lamps, but the only thing that remains now is my desk. I've unfortunately made a couple of mistakes with dining tables. I bought one that was black, and black just sucks the energy out of a room entirely. I think maybe if it had parts of black on it, might be all right, but a full black thing was not. Piece of furniture was not good, and then I replaced it with something more color appropriate, but it still wasn't nice enough. So my dining table sucks, my desk sucks, and my desk chair um, sucks. And this is actually not a bad chair, very nice. Marky spent a lot of time at Dell finding me a brown leather chair, specifically not black, so it fit the decor, and it works, except that as soon as I started sitting on it, it started tearing up. Now, maybe that's my fault. Maybe I'm a little fancy free with how I plunk myself down into things that I can't really help. I'm just sort of going with gravity. Um, and so, but it's all torn up, right? So it's got to go. Double O is giving me a straight back chair, and I'm going to use that. I don't know if it's suitable replacement, but again, I'll be free, so like no money lost. So I've been working my ass off for 8 years, and I want to preface this. Preface? What do I say? Preface? I don't know. Another little aside. So if I if my health wasn't the way it was, particularly with the urinary tract difficulties, I don't think I would be so focused on this. It is primarily because I am stuck home due to overactive and otherwise challenged neurogenic bladder. So what that means, as simply as I can put it, is I need to pee an awful lot. It is often very difficult to get those pees. It's more challenging with people around. I have better chances while by myself, but even then it doesn't always work out properly. And here is the real clincher to this. So need to pee a lot, difficulty peeing, more difficult in social situations. But here's the one: if I don't get them in time, these difficult and frequent P's, then I'm extra sore and extra dysfunctional. Call that gonorrhea zone because it really starts burning down there. And I've thought that I've had a urinary tract infection several times. The doctors even gave me medication preemptively for one, and it came back negative because just, the burning was so intense. So really, this needs to be looked at as a sort of, I don't know how else to relate it. So if you had like a chronic low level urinary tract infection that you are trying to prevent from becoming more than low level, so you want to keep the burning and the dysfunction at its best possible thing, which means that you're always running the bathroom, you're always super quick. Like pay attention sometimes. Like you see me out at the cafe, I'm reading, right? I doubt that I am there the full hour, like half the time. And yeah, I could try the cafe. It's pretty quiet, right? But I'm so close. It's like, oh, do I want to like strain and pain to try to get a pee there? Whereas if I just boom, zoom, take the short way up home, I'm back in my own bathroom and I'm peeing with a little bit more ease, right? So that's kind of the trade-off. So as a result of this, and this has been going on since '06, catheter doesn't work. I've tried different medications with uh, very like it might decrease the frequency a bit, but the difficulty is more, or vice versa, right? So that's so. Oh, and yeah, the frequency it's like every hour or more while I'm awake. Sometimes it can go more to 2 hours, but So that's when it's going calm, right? So but and it can be at times every 20 minutes. Worse when I'm performing, worse when I have something to do, more frequent and more difficult, and a shorter time to get to that danger zone of not being able to get them in time, right? So it's fucked. It's a very hard way to live. So I have a very home-based life. I think there's part of me that would be that way anyway. I don't like big steaming crowds unless I'm performing. Even before COVID, I've been always very crowd phobic unless I'm actually on stage with a microphone. And somehow that feels less naked or with purpose or something. So I don't mind it, but to sort of mill about in places teeming with people. I just, I can't do it. It's too uncomfortable. So, I think that part of the reason, or the biggest reason that I've gone through this furniture makeover is because, I'm stuck at home and I want to just make my home and my life as enjoyable as possible. I can't do things like, my God, and this pee and stuff didn't come on till '06, right? No cure, no treatment, really. I've done everything that you can think of, dietary changes, no results. Drinking is good for it in the sense of it really decreases the difficulty and it does not increase the frequency much, if maybe a little bit, but difficulties way pot is terrible for it. It increases the difficulty and the frequency and so I don't play with pot anymore. I think pot made me go crazy too anyway. So part of that psychosis. That's I was gonna say that psychosis, tuberculosis. Geez, that would have put a whole other thing on it, tuberculosis on top of the psychosis. I think I actually wrote that in a rhyme that was in the film of the poem called "Do I Have Psychosis?" Maybe tuberculosis. All I need is a little bit of gnosis just to set me free. But geez, I digress. So here I am trapped at home, and I'm so close. I got to get rid of that eyesore chair. I got to get, and I thought I had a desk coming. And I'm like, hey, first thing I always ask, do you deliver? Of course they don't, right? So I'm asking people, and it's hard. That's a tricky wicket, right? Because like this really sucks that I can't, due to limitations of CP, I can't drive and I can't transport the same thing. So I can't do this myself. So I have to get other people to do it. And look, I'm real lucky. I got a lot of people to help me, and most people that's going to be watching this probably have helped me, and I'm very fortunate to have the help I have got. So I'm not mad when somebody can't do it or doesn't want to or whatever, but I am disappointed, right? Because I can't. And I'm trapped home, and I'm like so close to get this fucking furniture thing solved. I want to be focused on other things, and I do. Like I'm still writing, not as much as I was last year, but I just put out a new poem a couple weeks ago that nobody saw. I got one about to come out. It's on the tip of my tongue and the tip of my fingers. But and I had this beautiful that, and it's like, oh, back to square one. Still dealing with my ugly desk, and because I've made mistake purchases, I'm like, when I see something, I'm like doubly, triply, quadruply sure, right? And damage on things. The new dresser I got just a little bit cracked around the edges on the paint there, but it's not going to get any worse. But if you buy a chair with a rip in it, that rip is only going to get worse. So I made that mistake a couple times with uh, um, well a desk chair once, and so here I am. I'm stuck. And I know they say Mercury retrograde, you're not supposed to buy new things, but I'm buying used things anyway. So in some way, these always track back to the past, right? I think, yeah, I did have a couple Canadian Tire pieces that were gifts, like a Tiffany style lamps, and I think a patio set or something was that kind of deal. But otherwise than that, everything is used, right? So and I just have I'm in a bachelor and it's a nice bachelor and a big bachelor, but it is a bachelor. So this has been really hard. You know, I don't want to make any more mistakes in my purchases. I've got two to correct with the kitchen table and that eyesore of a chair. And this desk was gonna, get me one step closer to just being done. And I just want to be finished with this. And like then I can like buy more food and clothes. I got some nice stuff, but most of it's a little torn and tattered. I swear, like guy from the hood like me, and on the system, I'm almost more like an impoverished aristocrat, like an unsuccessful Barry Lyndon who is living on some pittance, but has all this upper class taste and desire or something. You know, it's funny doing this. This has actually put me in a better mood. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you have things in particular, uh, kitchen table with two chairs, ideally no bigger than 42 inches, ideally round, darker in color, or a really nice desk with some storage, like computer desk, um, or a uh, desk chair, and looking to sell. Send me pictures. I'm very fussy, so chances are I probably won't like it, but uh, I got to try to get this solved, right? And it's taking too long, so I would really love to be done with this goal and tell you how obsessive I am. Like I wrote this in a poem too. Like the cafe there, good old Sempoal. Um, I went through like the entire stack of records, and a bunch of them were mine that I'd given away too. So once I got to that um, piece, it was okay. There's like 200 records on there, approximately maybe three. And I don't have a cell phone, so I did this last year. I was going in, making a list, a pen and a pad, like eight at a time, going home, finding them on YouTube, seeing like what I would like, and I went through the whole stack of sample records. And thanks, Chris, for giving me um, such good prices on those. And I'm a hip hop fan, primarily 80s, but especially like early 90s, I think is right in the sweet spot there. And so I've been going through Taz's stuff and finding them on YouTube. And I haven't bought anything yet because that's far more expensive, right? But I've got a list going, and there's probably under 30. And I've right now it's got 86 pages. Each page has 20 albums. I'm on page 52. So I'm crazy obsessive. This furniture thing, I really want to finish because it's the biggest, the one I need help with. Clothes and stuff is a little simpler, still be really fussy, but much smaller. These things I could kind of get on my own a little bit better. But yeah, so yeah, and if you see me like running away and stuff like that, or like not, having to pop off in the middle of a conversation, or not staying around, like God, like trying to be a comedian, like I can't network, right? Being's worse at shows. There's a bunch of people, some regulars, of course, some I've known for years, but like I think I'm kind of like known as this phantom, you know, because I just I come I you know I watch everything before me like a hawk, right? Because I love to riff and work contextual, but I just mostly stopped doing it because it's so hard with the peeing and um, I can't get, I was lucky to score some middles at Yucks over the years, but I haven't really kept after. I love to work, you know, if it's, but I can't really get to know nobody, I'm too limited by my discipline. I mean, I'd be weird and probably awkward in groups anyway, but it's an awful shame. So, God damn it, I want my furniture sorted. Oh, look at that. I'm just closing the book at under 20 minutes. I don't know if you could make it through this. I don't know how I did. Thanks, folks. Good night, sports fans, from your old pal, ugly.